It's simple, it's classic, it's refreshing. This week, let me show you how to make a Horsefeather. Welcome back to the channel. I'm Matt, I'm the Whiskey Nerd, and like I said, this week I'm making something that's simple, something that's classic, and something that is refreshing. I'm making a Horsefeather. Now, despite the weird kind of name, the Horsefeather, this cocktail is basically like a whiskey version of a Moscow Mule. It apparently originates in Kansas City in the States, but realistically, whiskey and ginger ale is a pretty good combination, so it could have been invented kind of anywhere. It's just kind of perfect for those warm summer days when you want something that's kind of long and something that's kind of refreshing, because you get that nice kind of bite from the ginger, you get a bit of freshness and zing from the lemon, you get a little bit of kind of depth and complexity from the Angostura bitters, and of course you're going to get a little bit of booze from your whiskey. And my whiskey I'm using right now is the Ush whiskey from the Angostura distillery in Ireland. You can kind of use any whiskey you want, but I'm using this because it's a very nice kind of easy to enjoy whiskey. I did a review of this whiskey on Wednesday. If you want to see that, check it out up there. There'll be a link up there for you to just check out after this video, but for now, let's make the cocktail. In keeping with the idea that it is a simple to enjoy cocktail, it is also simple to make. It is just going to be built in the glass, so there's a nice highball glass filled with ice, and we're just going to measure out our ingredients. We'll go in with 2 ounces or 60 ml of our Ush whiskey, but like I said, you can use whatever whiskey you want. If it really was invented in Kansas City, you can, I suppose, use Bourbon, but that might be what they're using over there. But me, I'm using Irish whiskey into there. Next up, it's our ginger ale, and like the official recipe says to use, 4 ounces or 120 ml of ginger ale. This is a 150 ml can, so I'm kind of gonna eyeball it. I'm just gonna use most of the can rather than measuring out 4 ounces. That's about there where I want to go. And then lastly, it's going to be our Angostura bitters. Uses 4 dashes of Angostura bitters to really give a nice bit of kind of, as I said, kind of depth and roundness to the cocktail. I do like kind of putting in the Angostura bitters last because those kind of bleed into the cocktail just like that. But in order to make sure everything is properly mixed, we're going to get our straw and we're going to just make sure that's fully mixed in. And lastly, for a garnish and for a bit of extra flavor, a little lemon wheel into the side. Just like that, just into there. And that right there is a Horsefeather. Now real quick, before I taste this cocktail, if you're new here, scroll down, hit that thumbs up button, hit that subscribe button. I put out whiskey reviews on Wednesdays, like the review of the Ush whiskey, and I put out cocktail recipes featuring whiskey every Friday, so if you want to see more, you know what you need to do. Cheers. I mean, what is there to say? It's gonna be refreshing. It's gonna be a very nice whiskey. If you're familiar with a Moscow Mule, you'll definitely know kind of how this tastes. That whiskey and ginger ale combination is great. It's, to me, better than the classic vodka and ginger ale combination, but it just works really well because the whiskey gives you kind of a caramel spicy note that's lacking in the vodka, but I think it pairs really well with the ginger ale. The Angostura bitters rounds things out, gives it a nice bit of extra weight, if you know what I mean, extra bit of a zip and zing, and then the lemon wheel in there just gives you that bit of a citrusy hit, keeps it more refreshing than it might otherwise be. So that's all there is to say about the Horsefeather. I'm definitely going to keep enjoying it because it is a warm day out right now, and I will see you next time. Sláinte.